good.
What's going on, folks? Welcome to the Lemonade Podcast. I'm your host, Frank, along with Matt and Mike. Here at the Lemonade Podcast, we go by the saying, when life gives you lemons, we make lemonade, and we pour it onto the world. And with that, we hope to encourage, inspire, and empower not only those of you tuning in, but our guests themselves. And today's guest is EyeGato.
Meow.
And there he is. Good stuff. Welcome.
Thank you.
No, thank you for having us here in your space, here in Barrio Logan. Real quick, can you throw out the address so folks
We
can
are
come
over
check
on 2195 Logan Avenue, and we are in Studio IX, also known as Studio 9.
Nice, dope. How long have you been here?
At least in this studio space, it's been 2 years and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I also used to have a studio right behind La Bodega, a little back in the days. Been in the neighborhood, in and out, curating shows, doing murals, and other activities in between.
Okay.
For the last 10 years or so.
Nice, 10 years. All right. So earlier we were talking about your beginnings, right? And you said you're coming up on, or you completed now the decade of what you've been doing.
At least a decade of the EyeGato.
Mm-hmm.
That was where, a little before that, it was called EyeGato.
Okay.
But it was a preliminaries of everything that I was doing. And even through high school, there was another evolution that went through that, but I didn't know it was going to become what it is today.
Okay.
The EyeGato was definitely established around 2013 in San Francisco.
Okay, dope. Are you from San Francisco?
I am not from San Francisco,
You're not.
but I can definitely call San Francisco my second home.
Oh,
I'm
for
from
sure.
Guadalajara, Jalisco.
Oh, nice. Okay. And have you always been doing that since you were in Jalisco, or when you came out here, as far as what you do?
And that's the reason I said it, it's the establishment became 2013 in San Francisco, because it started developing in a different direction with different friends of mine that I met at I used to work at Whole Foods in San Francisco, and I dove deep into a realm that I didn't know I was going to be part of, and it was very beautiful. It all started just trading different tools to ride on the streets, do other fun stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
How long? No, I'm sorry. How long? When you were in San Francisco, what was it that prompted you to get into doing that? Well, let me ask first this: the EyeGato, the whole. I don't want to say persona, character. What would you describe it as?
That came kind of secondary. I've been doing art, as long as I was a kid. I used to do art under my given birth name, and I wanted to switch it up because I wanted to be more in the anonymous spectrum of separating myself from the artwork.
Yeah.
Because there's a physical being, and people may portray you in a different way. I wanted people to invest in the artwork rather than me.
I like it.
I'm the AKA is EyeGato for the graffiti alias, but other than that, I call myself the Conductor. I'm conducting a story.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Gotcha. Yeah. What made you get into graffiti?
Definitely my friends.
Okay.
I used to live in Oakland. Well, I live in Oakland and then went to work in San Francisco, and of course San Francisco, when it comes to the graffiti scene, is one of the best ones. You got San Diego, LA, San Francisco, Philly's pretty good it's out there too. Detroit, then you got New York. New York is probably the
Central.
Yeah.
I actually was just in Florida. Went to the Museum of Graffiti there at Wynwood. It was really, really dope because it has all the history of the trains, especially in New York and whatnot. But it's such I'm a fan of hip hop, and one of the elements of hip hop is graffiti.
Yeah.
Right. So it's always nice to dive into that, and the originators, the people, the styles, how they developed, and just how big it's become. With having something like worldwide, what is it called? Powwow Worldwide. When it used to be Powwow Hawaii.
Yeah.
But to see it worldwide is always dope because just as hip hop has influenced, the worldwide, audience, so has every element within that. One of those being graffiti.
Yeah.
How did you ever try? I mean, I don't think they have. I don't think anyone's done pieces on the trolleys in San Francisco. But where was your specialty in as far as the certain areas that you wanted to do? Your art.
Definitely West Oakland. West Oakland was definitely very active. Still very active. It's way different. Again, every state, every country, they do it all differently. San Francisco definitely was as history goes, it's mainly locals. If you want to find some spots, it's only for the locals only. Unless you create community, you become part of the community. And I think that's what like really drove me deeper into it. Like my friends were kind of like quiet about it. They didn't say things. There's history. You don't just let anyone in. You really got to do your time.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing is like it's like it's a very subculture, like kind of like realm because I'm anonymous. Still remain anonymous. Again, it's like I want to respect the game. I want to respect what the artwork means, and I want the people to like really find a way. It's not for everybody. I have left a lot of food crumbles here and there for people to like even find the space. It's always very magical to see people come into our space and be like, I seen this. I seen this. You know?
Yeah. We've. I know Matt was talking about it. I see you in North Park. We've seen you in Bankers Hill. Shoot, man. I don't know. Have you been to LA? Have you?
I haven't done. No, I haven't done LA too much.
Okay.
I definitely would like to do it. I just been so busy in San Diego.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Just now, people coming in through your studio and trying to cop some art. Internationally too. What did the gentleman say? Where did the gentleman?
Oh, the gentleman, he was, I think, from Switzerland. I believe.
Yeah, that was dope.
No, New Zealand. There you go. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so now your art is gonna travel. Someone gets to see it in a different place and be like, oh crap, which is really dope. If you think about it, now it's spreading without you staying local, which is good. It's good that your art spreads. So, what has been like one of your goals as far as like with EyeGato and what you represent with that?
Well, my main goal is to definitely the whole background of like creating the eyeball, or like it's to like create more eye contact. We have lost eye contact with like technology and whatnot. I think like eye contact shows respect. Oh, okay. And most of us, it's like we're so scared, we like look away. That's definitely like, and that's the whole thing about like guerrilla marketing, painting so much in the streets. It's like also letting go of things and let them move on on their own. A lot of people like say like the Illuminati is like, I can see why it plays on the Illuminati part, but that's not whatsoever.
Yeah, I was looking through it and I wanted to kind of jokingly, bring that up because I didn't feel that that's what you were portraying. Yeah. You know what I mean? But can you elaborate a little more on EyeGato, what it is, the actual drawing? Because it's just always that eye, the triangle.
Well, it's like
cat.
Yeah, the triangle itself, it's a very solid, like the pyramid. It's a solid, like structure. So it definitely creates that. The eye itself, it's like an eye of protection. Someone is watching over you. Perhaps the streets, I'm watching over you. I got you. The character itself has a backstory now.
Okay.
I can do a really brief story. That character, his name is EyeGato. He's a creature from Inner Earth. Came out, started hanging out with the cats in our realm, became guardian protector of the kitties.
Yeah.
He eventually fused with one of the cats and became Mr. Gato. And now you can see the Cheshire Cat.
Gotcha.
Together, the time travelers are trying to find our origins and trying to give it back to us. So the whole idea is like going back to our roots, go deeper into what we are and what we got. And together, these two characters are time travelers. They're trying to find those origins, giving it back to us. And I feel like I'm a very feline kind of character or person. I like to be mischievous. So that's where I incorporate that. And I love cats.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cats. Cat. Matt, you had a cat once. You guys had a cat for a long time.
It was Christina's cat, technically.
Yeah.
I grew up with cats. My mom is a crazy cat lady, so I'm very familiar with cats.
People say that I am a cat. And I try to identify more as a dog, but no. They're like, you're more of a cat. I say I'm a Sour Patch Kid, but that's a whole story. Nah. What are you moving forward? What is it that you're doing now with EyeGato? Like you stated earlier with the gentleman that was here explaining as to like your studio now, you've outgrown it, the space, and are you looking to expand? Are you? Obviously a lot of us are, especially when we grow as artists, but and some people don't because it's nice and cozy. This is where you maybe your roots have grown, and whatnot. But yeah, like where exactly is it that you're seeing yourself in the next maybe couple of years as far as
we're trying to let things grow organically, and that's the whole like even game with this is like it's been grown on its own. When I came back to San Diego, like 2014, and continued to do this, I didn't know it was gonna become what it is today. Good. So the fact is like I do have some goals to like every year to like become something to keep evolving with the artwork. And letting things like work out on their own. This space itself, like we got it like 2 years ago. We were not, my partner Danny, which is this girl Hugs Trees. We got this space, and we didn't know we were gonna create what we're creating. My main goal with my artwork is to give back to the community. Hopefully empower other people to create and to move forward, to really believe in their goals and their dreams. And like we got a lot of people coming in here. It's like, oh man, I used to draw, I used to do this, I don't think I can do it. I'm like, do it, pursue it.
Yeah.
You know, we encourage people to really be creative. It's like, if I'm doing it, you can do it.
For sure. Yeah, it's a lot of intentional efforts behind a lot of the things as far as what people do, just because of the fact that, like you said, there's people that come in here, they're like, oh, I don't know, some people giving up, they don't see the subs growing or whatever, but it's like the consistency is a huge thing, just staying on top of it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you do it once, you're not satisfied, okay, cool, try something else. But if you continue to keep pushing it, you go from 1 year to 5 years and you've grown so much. Now you speaking of community too, you may grow within a community.
Yeah.
You start talking to those people and that community embraces you, as I feel like the community, even graffiti community, but even here, the community here in Barrio Logan has done for you. And speaking of community, quick shout out to Optimus Volts, because he was the one who told us about you, and through him we found you. We also found this girl hugs trees, which we're coming after her next episode or next season, so just let her know.
Yeah.
No, but I think she knows. I think we came before. I introduced myself. I even brought my daughter.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, try to like expose her to all this stuff. But I think community it's a huge thing. We've been blessed to do our show, here at the Art Hub with Mary June, Optimus Volts. They've been very inviting every time we come through and whatnot. So, Matt, do you have a?
I was just gonna ask. I see a lot of different mediums that you've worked on, even just in this room, and there's a lot of different imagery going on, but with very similar themes. Is there a particular message that you want your art to convey, or are you one of those artists who creates something that you feel, and then you leave it up to the viewer to decide what they feel?
It's a little of both, I definitely don't want to. People have connected to this artwork in different ways. People have told us stories. I have my own story, as I told her earlier. The medium-wise, where you're talking about that, I do screen printing, I do frame working, I'm a muralist, a lot of woodwork, and some of those elements that I'm using, like even this mailbox you see right here, that's like from 1940s, 1970s, and like I do like to like upcycle as much as possible. So my goal for that, when you're talking about like what I want to encourage people how to go about it, is definitely encourage them to like work with anything and everything. And I do have a close connection to like I want my work to be a little warmer rather than like the classic gallery style stuff, which is it works. But I just again it's like whatever I feel, I like to go in there. Psychedelics definitely influence my work.
No.
I hadn't noticed.
Yeah, neither have I. Really. So that's what it's like being in a trip right now. No, but it's really wonderful. Like I said, I've seen it throughout San Diego, and I know it took a while to get to today. Because this, that, and the other. We're all stay busy. But I think it's also like we talked about before, just putting that work in. Consistency, what I mean, to be able to do what you do and continue to grow within a community in this space, and then hopefully, keep growing from that. Matt, we got a question for Mr. EyeGato today. Or did I put him on the spot?
I can elaborate a little further on, and one of the definitely some of the pieces that was in there when you see like some of the Mr. Gato's a little like upset.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I went through a hardship around that time. Like people have been connecting to those in like very interesting ways, and they had this like clown faces at one point. Like people. I'm very cheery. I'm very outgoing for the most part.
Yeah.
But at one point, some people wanted me to like really like. I was bummed. I was like really pushing my feelings into those pieces. There's some of the few ones, and I felt like I needed to put this clown face. I was like, entertain me, and I feel like that comes along with like. Doing what you do, like being a creative, is like if you're like kind of bummed, like people are just kind of like, cheer up. I was like, kind of I just want to feel like I want to go deep into like what I'm feeling.
Yeah, and it allows you to really express that too, if you find the right way to do so. Whatever you're feeling, and it resonates a lot to a lot of people that come in here. They'll be like, attracted to that. It was like, oh, that's exactly how I feel and whatnot. So, which is dope, to be able to express yourself in any way, in any medium. But yeah, it's really interesting, Matt.
Have you ever had any periods of time where it was difficult to create, where you found it challenging to come up with an idea or to find something to put?
It was definitely that time. I went to like a bit of a artist block, and it was very hard because even around that time, I got caught up with like some of my graffiti stuff, and I was like, I hid all of my work in other places because it's like once you like, it takes only one tag to get like a 6 months in jail, $1,000, and it's California, and also to like it's like just one tag itself is like that's $1,000. I didn't want to mention like if you see my work, it's like I don't want to look at the file. I kind of do want to see the file. So at that point, for 3 months, I didn't do anything. I was trying to like switch as my style. There's like a couple pieces that are out there. Some people's like, "This is you." I was like, yeah. So that was like definitely like a really hard time. It was like 3 to 5 months to try to like recreate myself, and like I gave up a lot of like my stuff just because I didn't want to be part of it. I went to like a really hard breakup, getting caught up with that. Almost getting like there's other personal things I won't speak about. Was like it was a downfall. I was down to the ground.
I mean, we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
One, but what was it that helped you to rise from that?
They are. They kept calling me back, and drew me back in. It's like every day. It's just like it wouldn't let me go. It just wouldn't let me go, even if I tried something different. And like it drew me back in, and it's like all my friends are pretty much artists, and they're just like, dude, it's like you got this.
Yeah, we talk about community. The community is important. Even in your lows, when you have those mental blocks, there's at least I found in myself that to be inspired by those around me within the community, because whether it's their art, whether it's their attitude, even just coming through and be like, hey man, I know you're having a rough day, but just dive right into what you do. And I always find, for the most part, solace in creating, because of the fact that, like you said, you take your art, we take your art and then make something out of it, especially if we're filling in those spaces. And how do we turn that lemon, right, into lemonade, And I've been in that spot. Matt's seen me. I think Christina has too. You know what I mean? Christina, shout out to Christina because she's doing a great work, with handling out of the camera. But yeah, man, to have them, to have the little circle that I kept, see me in those places was rough because usually I don't like to be there. I don't think anyone does. But to have other people see me in that, I was like, holy crap. I think about it now and I kind of cringed. Matt probably cringes too. But
I just cringe when you talk.
So.
And it's like speaking of those like highs and lows, definitely like I try to incorporate that also in my work. It's a lot of like dark and light, yin yang. There's like several symbols throughout this like incorporates that. Even though it was like really low, I was glad for that low.
No, for sure.
It slowed me down. I was in such a fast pace, like get it all, you got it, to like. I was like, oh yeah, you think you got this?
Yeah.
Like the world was like, no, just bring you down and it's like show you that's like. You can chill a little bit.
Yeah,
it was a blessing.
It's but definitely about perspective as well. If you glad that you saw it as a blessing, because some people don't, and they'll sit there for a while, which is fine. Like you said, I want to feel it. Let me feel it, which is totally understandable because I've been there. But to me, the important thing is try to allow yourself not to remain for so long. Shoot, if you got to schedule yourself within that deep realm, like, okay, cool, let me be here half the day, but the next half I'm gonna either create, I'm gonna go explore, I'm gonna just take a walk, go breathe, just to pull yourself out, because a lot of people will remain in that space. I have myself, but I've learned to like pull myself by creating. Like I said, the arts call you back, and it's beautiful to have, but it's also beautiful to have that perspective of like, you know what, let me make something out of it, and then that slowly but surely pulled you out.
And everybody's journey is different. We can help those that have been down there. I have like a few friends of mine right now, they're like hitting some lows, and like, hey man, we're open arms. It's okay to be vulnerable. And I think we got to teach the world that a little more, to be like vulnerable and be.
Yeah, definitely. It's being human.
Yeah,
exactly. If something burns you, you're gonna hurt. It's not like you can't feel it. You're not a fucking robot.
I think a lot of us
maybe
are
Matt's a bit of Zord. No. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, sorry. No, I just want to say, like, I think we're in a world where, like, all of us need to showcase that we're strong, we got this. But, it's also to be like, damn, I need help.
For sure.
reach out. You know, it's like there's nothing wrong with that, and there's definitely like something that I want to incorporate in my artwork to be like, if you need help in any elements, you know, it's like we try to open the door for this space. We have several people that come through this space and being like vulnerable. So this space is not just to be about art. It's sometimes, you know, someone needs some help one way or another to just being like hurt. We're here for them.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, everyone needs a ear. Matt's been that. Matt's been my ear since we met. And like you said, he cringes.
Your
Shoulder, my ear, you know, anything, man. He's been there for some rough times. So, which I appreciate Matt and Christina, you know what I mean? And I appreciate you, EyeGato, for having us here. Do we have something for him today?
I had another question that's more
good. No, go ahead.
art than the random question.
Let's hit him with both. That's what we're here.
Do you ever pull inspiration from anything in like popular media or culture? Like we talked to Optimus Bolts, and he pulls from like luchador culture and comic book heroes and stuff like that. Has anything like that ever influenced you as an artist, or is all of this stuff straight from your inner self?
I mean, it definitely has evolved over time, over things that like maybe some people don't want to look into, and I'm okay with like people believing or not believing what I'm into. I definitely like talking about this creature being from inner earth. I am definitely believing like we're in a flat plane. I personally don't believe, and this is like, you know, I can be wrong. There's some information that I have looked into that has like definitely translated into my new work, and it's about like, you know, being a flat earth, not being religious, but like, you know, like more spiritual. Difference a lot of spirituality, going deep in places. I'm like, hey, I can be wrong, but like this seems more correct, more right. So definitely in the last couple of years, there's been more influence about that. Then again, you know, that's the information I'll look into. If you ever want to dive deep into that conversation, that's like days of like talking about this weird, like conspiracy theories that people may not believe, but just fine.
I think Mike would really appreciate that conversation.
Mike would dig that conversation.
I think he would.
Yeah, if you want to come back in here and talk to us, we have info.
Mike, you know, hey, he threw that address out earlier, you know what I mean? So come through. But
so, question of the day.
There we go.
If you could have an extra set of eyes or an extra set of hands, which would you prefer and why?
I think I'm gonna be closer to a second pair of eyes, because I think as you can see, some of my characters definitely have that. So I think it's like just that 2 hands that I have. I think it's what I need. A second pair of eyes can like help me see a little further into more depth. So I definitely like to go deeper into like that. My hands, that's all I need to. Having 4 hands, I think that'll be like a little bit. I think it'll be discombobulated. I wouldn't be working like correctly. I think a couple more eyes will be kind of nice.
Nice. Yeah. I wish I had extra hands so I can give the haters 4 thumbs down. We're gonna keep it at that. Keep it a little light. Well, EyeGato, thank you again for having us in your space. Thank you for your story, your energy. You know what I mean? For showing us what you do and for just going into depth with it. It's a pleasure. Normally, we do have lemonade, but this time around, we were here, so we didn't bring any. But we'll definitely share a cup or 2 later on. And thank you again for... What are we looking at?
Sorry. It's only 4:36 now.
You can keep going if you want to keep going.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm like I said, I know I saw a lot of people coming through, and I didn't want to stop.
Oh,
or I didn't
want
to stop
like,
people coming through. Yeah. All right, not my bad.
Well, you're good. I mean, you know, we got plenty of time.
What has been your favorite piece to create?
Oh wow, that's like, you know, like people.
I was gonna ask, but a lot of times I was like, man, he has so many and it's like, is it gonna be that thing of like, hey, it's like picking your favorite child, you know what I mean, type of deal. Maybe. No, go ahead. Sorry.
You know, it's like picking favoritism. I think it's like more in the moment. There's so many different items that I have worked with, you know, because it's like every single element has something different to do. I might want to say maybe this book. You know, this book has like. It was like called like Stay Focused, and it was about finishing like a sketchbook from beginning to an end. And it's like it was just like being like, we're talking about focus. This is the one. Is like most of us artists, we don't finish a sketchbook from beginning to an end. And I ended up replicating it and doing 30 copies of those, and like every person has been reacting so positive towards the gentleman that was like here earlier.
I remember,
he got one of those. So it's like, you know, it's like, in everything that I do, I try to do a limited edition, so like I don't like to like mass produce any of my work. But I want to say maybe that's one of my favorite ones, but I don't really. I like to live in the moment. I feel like let go. It's like a lot of people say like, are you attached to any of your pieces? Like, there's now pieces of, like, I want everybody to have like whatever they want to have or whatever they need. And I also want to mention that I am celebrating 10 years. This whole year has been celebrating like at a solo show in Ventura and a place that I didn't know. People have been inviting me to places. I'm just like, I just go for it because I'm at the point that's like, you gave me a home, thank you. When I started, it was like, can I do this? Can I do that? Being rejected was difficult. Now, so like, I'm like, oh, I can actually say no. I did Ventura. Then after that, I did Vista, a new place. And then the next one, it's in the end of October in San Francisco, which is like really nice to go back to where it started. And it's going to be, that show's called like Late Bloomer. And it's about like, you know, the whole showcasing about late bloomers. Like, you know, you can bloom at your own time. It doesn't matter if you're 30, 40, 60, whatever times. Like, everybody blooms at the perfect time that they need to.
Right.
You know, a lot of people say, like, if I haven't done it by 30, I'm nothing. I was like,
no, not wrong, bro.
You're going to bloom when you need to. You know, it's like, it's also like, I feel like with graffiti, I got into it a little later. And that's why I feel like I'm a late bloomer. But then again, it's like, I feel like I got right on time when I needed to. And then it's like, it's just like, those friendships that like created like 2013, they're like some of my closest friends. Some are like now in New York, other ones are in the Midwest, and like there's like people that like if I see some of those friends like 3 years later, I feel like it was yesterday. Gotcha. I don't know if you guys have any of those friendships. Like, you don't need to see them every day.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, late bloomer will be like in San Francisco with Meta Made, another good friends of mine. They're like they are known internationally too. Like they're work with all sorts of artists from all over the world. And it's gonna be near the Mission. The Mission. Have you guys been to San Francisco to the Mission?
I haven't been to the Mission. No.
So if you want to talk about like Barrio Logan, the Mission is pretty much almost like Barrio Logan, but in San Francisco. And of course, San Francisco is like just such a smaller city. It was like, you know, everything's walking distance. So if you guys have a chance to go to the San Francisco, check out the Mission, because it's like really like at the core of like Hispanic community, and like a lot of great artists have been come through there. There's like some of my influence, like Barry McGee, Twist. You have like Gats, which I'm wearing. Like, you know, he became one of my favorites, and we eventually became friends. And the list goes on and on. When it comes to like some legends, oh man, San Francisco is like graffiti.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that. Like I said, when I went to Florida, to be able to see all that art like right then and there in this whole big block, only of a place that I've heard, you know, I've never seen. It was great because I saw some of those people that I've seen since like 2017 out in Hawaii, you know, with all the big murals and whatnot. You know, I think his name is Atomic. He draws like this big old freaking.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, big old like orange. Yeah, and he was everywhere. And I've seen him in LA. I've seen him in Hawaii and whatnot, even in Long Beach as well. And to see him, he was just fucking everywhere. It was great. But I've seen people who started, you know, from just the local like scene, and when they get into these bigger shows, they're just like, holy crap, I'm here now. But then later on, you see them and they're international.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's great to see their evolution. You know, and once again, it's that whole consistency. They didn't give up on that. They continue to push, you know, even their own limits, which was great because you see people evolve, you know, and that's beautiful. So
do you ever want to see yourself like international as well, going through like all those people? Have you reached out to anybody outside from San Diego?
I've hit up a couple. There's a few that have gotten back to me. There's a few that I'm still waiting to the message to be read.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't give up, because I know that it'd be just an honor just to sit down, just as we are here today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, when you do go international, you know, hopefully you remember the little people and Lemonade Podcast.
Of course.
But, you know, and it is always great because, you know, we like to root for that, you know, myself, because it just kind of gives that hope, that inspiration for someone like me, who I'm like, oh man, I want to be international as well. You know what I mean? Just so that, not in the sense of trying to be famous or something like that, but it's like, yo, we want the world to see what we create, you know, and to be able to see EyeGato maybe out in, you know, where was that dude from? New Zealand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's gonna be dope. You know, somebody out there, you know, if you ever get to travel and just hit up a couple walls, bro, and like, there you are, now you exist there.
Yeah. And you know, it's like, I do like enjoy like this part of like what I do, because it's like, you can take it anywhere. And you know, it's like, it's almost like opening a new book. You read a new space, you're in a new like place, and like that helps you grow. Whatever you do, is like, I always recommend to like travel, take your chances. You know, like if someone tells you no, don't feel like you're defeated. It's not your time. It'll come back around. you know, it's like I would like you to like travel, like it'll be nice for you because like you can bring this whole section, you know, be like, hey, let's go travel, let's see what's going on in different place. You talking about a new fresh or white or second pair of eyes?
Yeah,
right there, boom.
For sure.
You know, you're gonna see like much deeper because I've been in some places thanks to what I do that was like I never knew that existed. I have documented that with like film photography. So some of the mediums I've done, again, you know, film photography, screen printing, murals, and you know, it's like you can connect with so many people in so many different ways. And some of the artwork they talking about is like everybody has an interesting story, a very unique story, and some people are like drawn to this because of that. And like I don't want to make it about me. I was like, what got you into it? Why are you about that? So you know, like White Lemonade.
Yeah, for us, yeah. Well, people know.
Yeah, and exactly.
No, but,
you know, how long have you been doing this for now?
For a little bit over a year.
Year and a half.
Year and a half. Yeah, I mean, reason being is like we say, you know, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And for me, it was my own experience as to me going through what I went through, and then I was able to create something from that through photography and even adding captions, you know, to that photography itself. And I said, man, if I could do this at my lowest point, where I can still create. You know, and I say this a lot. Imagine what I can do when I'm inspired. And today, along with this is part of my inspiration.
Yeah.
You know, when I came to the idea with, you know, to Matt and Mike, they were like, holy crap. You know, well, Matt wasn't like, holy crap. He just stood there and smiled, which was good. But it was nice to be inspired and not let this one idea really just kind of let me go. But a lot of times ideas come and go. Like, cool, I'll get to it. But this one just... like not didn't bother me, but it was just picking at my brain like, hey, what about this, what about that? And it continued to evolve to like a year after I had mentioned it, I said, okay, I have this whole thing, what do you guys think? And they were like, let's do it. So it was like, all right, so now we're here. And though I had my own goal as to how many episodes we do, you know, they reassure me that we don't have to stop there.
Yeah.
And it's been great because getting to meet people like you, you know, the artists, the creators, the entrepreneurs in San Diego, which is something that I don't think I would ever had, you know, just had the opportunity to do, not by chance. It's just like, hey, I had to make this happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that I created along with Matt, Mike, and now Christina. You know, she's been there for the whole ride too. But it's been great. Community, you know, through all of that, through that one idea that never let my brain go, I built a small community. And now you, along with everybody here in Barrio Logan, is part of that community, maybe without knowing, but you've become part of our show, you know, part of what we created, and part of what I wanted to continue to create, you know, to bring those local artists, showcase them so that the world can see them, hopefully internationally, somebody watches this. But, you know, it was this little idea that I had, and more intention behind it, more consistency, and now we're at the end of season 4, and people are sometimes surprised, but they're really like, hey, that's really dope, like how consistent you guys have been. You guys are still going. And though at times some people may get caught up with this whole idea of, oh, I don't get that many likes on social media, or nobody's XYZ. I'm like, to me, the most important thing is that we got to sit here and have this moment, this conversation right now, and I've gotten to share it with the people that are important to me. You know, I think you know that, Matt, Christina. All right, great. So you know what I mean? And it's just something, like I said, something from that just one day just I woke up and was like, hey, I think that'd be kind of dope to do something like that. And sure, it's been done, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to give my own twist. You know what I mean?
You have your own voice, and the thing is, like, anyone, like, we try not to be gatekeepers. Anyone that asks us questions like, oh, what do you use? It's like, we'll give them the things like, you're not gonna paint how you do it. No one's gonna, like, you know, showcase it how you do it. So we're all special in our own way. You know, it's like the fact you're still going at it, you're still going. It's like the little boys we're talking about picking at you. You know, it's like people talking about like, how do you buy the right art or the right thing for you? And it's about like picking it up. And if it's still in your hand and it's bothering you, it's not like, it's mine. That happened to like Danny yesterday. This woman we did the San Diego Zine Fest. And this woman did her route, came back, and it's like, I left and that piece was calling me. It wouldn't stop. And it's like, it's something in this, like if you hear the little voice that keeps bothering you, go for it. Do it. You know, follow that intuition, follow the little voice. You know, it's like, And then you said again, it takes a team effort.
It does.
It's like creating work. It's like for me, it's like I'm at the point that just do it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
If someone enjoys it, awesome. Someone buys it, that's a plus.
Right.
Graffiti itself is like, they call it as the buff man. Like for me, it's like even if the buff man sees it, I got one person to see it.
Yeah.
And sometimes even that person, sometimes they don't even want to do it. They're just like, this is my job. I just gotta do it.
For sure, because they're fans. But they got to see it, which is great. A 1 of 1. All right, my own art show here. Excuse me.
You got a question?
Yeah. What's the difference between? Or I mean, you're familiar with graffiti art.
Yeah.
You've done it yourself. What are the rules in the culture about when people? What's the difference between somebody who goes out and tags a wall and makes art versus somebody who just tags a wall and leaves like I don't even know what to call it, like a signature of some kind? That's like, is that art? Is that considered art, or is it just considered like what? What's the difference?
There's all different levels. I mean, you definitely have like some people that are like straight out vandals, and there's like destroy everything. I think the key thing you guys been saying, consistency. I feel if you're consistent, you develop something, you create something. There's some ways to respect, like definitely don't tag the local business. Respect the local business. They definitely, it's like if there's something abandoned, it's like it gives you a little more leeway. And there's also too like what you call, if you see something that you don't like, then most people call it a toy, which is a beginner, and that's like lingo for that. And that's what you're talking about. It's like some people like some graffiti writers like, you're a toy, you gotta do your time. So it's about doing your time. Like in the beginning, I was getting crossed out left and right, and eventually, finally developed like a technique or a style, and it's like I'm like, okay, you're growing.
Yeah.
So I think it's like it all becomes with time, because I think it's like there's a general public, there's a graffiti community, and then there's like the straight out vandals that don't give a fuck about anything. I think I'm always been scared to like some of the business. Eventually I will like get to meet them and like, hey, I'm sorry, they're just like, they're like, I like your stuff, you're fine. And I'm just like, wait, what? It's like, you're okay with what I did? And it's like, it's strange.
Yes.
It's for some people don't like it. There's like I'm still haven't met everybody that it's in the community. Most of us recognize each other by like our tags, and when she's like, are you? I'm like,
yeah.
Let's keep going, I think also too is like tagging is almost like I was like feel like it's like dogs or animals taking a piss somewhere. When I see a dog taking a piss, it's like, this is my spot. Yeah, and it's like graffiti's like that's like, oh yeah, you're right here, this is my spot, now I'm gonna pee right here. Yeah. Sometimes it feels like it's almost like the close I can relate to something like that, but it's like, yeah, I think it's like over time it's like how consistent you are and how you develop yourself. And I mean, you got like gang members. There's some of those people start because like they have no families, they create a family through that, and it's hard sometimes to see like like really like gang graffiti, but it's a way to like, you gotta prove yourself. And of course you get younger kids, but eventually some people grow out of that. Some people's like, hey, I was about that then, I was like, now I just want to create, I want to give back to the community. I've seen a lot of people that go through jail, they go to community service, and eventually they're trying to be like, hey, how can you get back? I mean, I'm still active, but I still try to like, if someone asks me in the community, hey, can you paint this wall? I see like all the homies on the wall, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to paint over them. I feel like shit, But it's also too is like, it's like we want to like make sure, it doesn't get too out of control. There's a fine line, there's respects and whatnot. And then even deep in the game, when you go to like the tunnels, like everything like that is like, if you can't do better than somebody else, don't paint over that. That's one of the rules. If you can do something better, then do it. So it can be like a very like non-confrontational like thing. It's like once you start doing it like maliciously, be careful what you ask for, because you're gonna get a kind of whoop ass, because like someone will definitely like if like, and some people live for that. Yeah. They want the attention.
For sure. Yeah. Anything else? Good.
I only asked that because you see tags all over town, right? And they're like, if it's on the side of a building or something, usually they're pretty good.
Yeah.
But like when I don't know, it's usually when you're walking across like a bridge or something, that you just find a random tag on a railing or something, and it's I don't know if it's a signature or what, but it's I don't know. Would you say the defining line between somebody who's doing graffiti for art and someone who's doing graffiti as vandalism is the intention of the tagger?
Well, you know, it's like, let me just go. How does it make you feel? Let's start with that. When you see that, how does it make you feel?
I would say it depends on where it is. So if it's on like a historic structure, or something like a public walkway that's like used a lot, and it's city workers go to great lengths to keep it looking good, subjectively good, like with just like a nice fresh coat of paint. Every week they come out and repaint it. Like I would be like, please don't tag this. But if it's the side of a building and the owner's given someone permission, or if it's the side of an old building that like nobody cares about, and it's, you know, the art or the graffiti actually improves the aesthetics of it. You know, at least I guess as long as the majority of people are like, yeah, that actually looks good.
I'm not a fan of seeing like gray pieces and then someone just come in and scribble like, you know, tag their like a signature on there. I'm just like, yo, that you could have done it on the side around it, but I'm like, dang, you literally disrespected that one piece of art who's, like you said, yo, you gotta put in your time. You came through and you totally just fucked all that shit up.
Well, you know, like some people, again, you know, they're trouble. Most likely, like when you see those as like younger people, they're like, you know, it's like really abusing alcohol, other substances. I think a lot of people are just like morally doing that like out of deeper anger. When you see like over and over, it's like, see me. So like definitely graffiti's about attention. It's very like self-absorbed. It's a very self-absorbed game. And, you know, everybody does it differently. Everybody has different intentions. Again, some people are maybe a little younger. They just don't know any better. You know, like I seen friends of mine that get intoxicated, and it's just like it's a free for all. And you know, some people grow out of it. Other people just like it's a more like a cry for help. You know, because some people do it like through that way. Other people do it to hurting other people physically. So the thing, the intentions again, you know, is the same. It's like some of us are just hurt inside. You want to show people how hurt you are inside. So at that point, it's like, you're destroying what I did. And it's like, and it's a battle of two different worlds, you know? And yeah, again, you know, there's some things I'm like, man, homie, you shouldn't have done that. It's like,
have you ever run into somebody who did that to your art? And did you think about that? Like, hey, let me take you under my wing. Maybe necessarily let me talk to you. Because look, you're going at it the wrong way. And you kind of like saw them like, you know, I think I see what you're trying to do. I think you could get better at it. You know what I'm saying? Like you took a different route, or were you like, nah, we got to open this can of whoop ass?
I tried not to be as, I tried not to be violent. I try to like kill people with kindness. I've seen it done in the, what you call the tunnels, you know, like in the ditches. Someone went over probably 7 of my pieces and crossed it out or drew like a dick on them. And I was like, the thing about graffiti is like you cross it out, then you leave your name if you have like beef, or if you have like, you know, like if you really dislike someone. At that point, I was like, I'm not gonna give you attention on social media. I'm just gonna clean it up. You're gonna come back down there and you'll be like, you wasted your time. You know, it's like for me, it's like, oh, you wanna like scratch up all my stickers? You wanna do all this? I'm like, you're gonna have a fun time trying to find all of them. For me, it's just like, go for it.
Because you're like, I got tons of stickers. I keep adding them.
Do you plant your stickers in places, or is that friends doing that?
A little of everything. It's like, it's mainly me. But you know, it's like, I again, you know, get people like, I seen it here. I was like, do I remember that one? Was that me? Or was that somebody else? And that's like, again, you know, once you get like a family of people, a group of people, we all like help each other out. And like, you know, I got friends on the East Coast send me stickers. I'm like, I got you. And you know, there's also some negative spots for that too as well, you know. And yeah, I don't know. It's about respecting it. It's like, I think once someone has a little more clarity in their mind, more peacefulness in their mind, they respect things in a different way. They approach it differently. Yeah, I think people that are really out to destroy this, like, just inner fuel, inner anger.
Yeah, I mean, it's something different I didn't even think about. You know, I mean, you're expressing yourself. This is the best way, and I'm gonna just kind of cause chaos because there's something in me that just doesn't. I just want to watch the world burn for a little bit.
Cause it feels good. It feels good. Believe me, it's like you get a rush out of like, you have to be like in and out sometimes. You know, it's like it's called a tag, and it's also like perhaps a little pyramid. It's called a moniker. There's like a whole history. Like monikers mainly comes from like hobo trains. People that go on hobos and they do like with they call it a streaker, which is an oil-based pencil, and people mark it. And the thing is like, you want to be visible to as many eyes as possible, and that's the whole goal. Is like you want people to see you as much as possible. You know, you want to create like, I know you got Obey, you got Banksy. You know, it's like these people are like doing it so much, and it's consistency. Like, and sometimes you get somewhere, you start seeing it in a different way, and so I just get a little attention. Well, need it sometimes.
No, sure. I mean, especially when like I said, you express yourself through your art. You know, you feel in some sort of way, whether sad, happy, man, all that. And if you found that it's, you know, really conveyed a message and people, you know, relate or are absorbed by it, I mean, it works. And so you just keep putting it out there because it might, like I said, it might be something that works for people. And so you found a good audience for that. It's like, hey, let me keep giving this to these people. Even though it's just for you, you know that eventually it's going to hit somebody different. You know what I mean? Have them feel some kind of way, which is dope. You know, like I said, expressing yourself through art. Excuse me. Matt's going to hate this editing.
Yeah.
I got the water.
No, we're good.
You good?
I was going to say, we used to do something similar when I was in the Marine Corps. I was a helicopter mechanic, and there's a quote-unquote tradition in the air wing. Every squadron has its own patch, and they would make stickers.
Yeah.
And we would call it tagging too, but the night crew, you would basically try to sneak down the flight line to another squadron's area, and you would try to sneak onto their aircraft and slap a squadron sticker somewhere. Not somewhere obvious though.
Yeah.
Like somewhere where nobody's gonna look at it for a while. So like maybe underneath an access panel or something, and then you know like the idea is like maybe a week or two later somebody has to open that panel up and get in there, and then they find your squadron patch and they're like, oh motherfuckers.
There it is.
I definitely enjoy those the most. There's a lot of stuff that I've done out in the desert in places that most people don't get a chance to see, and those are definitely my favorite. Like I do like. A friend of mine's like, why you always go so small in like tiny spaces? Like, again, to distract you, to be like,
Yeah.
never
Like,
thought about that.
What the hell's that?
And it's like, you know, it's like, again, you know, surprising people. It's like, oh, what's in here? It's like, oh, okay. You know, it's like, it's just a fun little game to see, like, oh, it's almost like, oh, my friend was here. Or like, oh, you got this? It's like, it's it's just like a back and forth, like a nice little game. A give and take.
I gotta start doing that. We have lemonade stickers, so if you see it, it's
There.
me. I'm just saying, to put us out there. You know what I mean? No, for sure.
And, you know, guerrilla marketing, nothing wrong with that. I mean, we get bombarded with billboards, so sometimes things that we don't want to see. Again, you know, that's the reason people go out of the way, since it's called, like, they call those heaven spots sometimes, like, because you can fall, you can, you know, it's like, it takes a lot to do that. Like, and some people, like, LA definitely is known for that. And, you know, the idea of that is, like, sometimes, like, even the city, other bigger people, like, they're trying to bombard us with, like, billboards of things that we don't care about. It's like, you didn't ask me if I want that over, like, my near my home.
Yeah, especially neighborhoods, yeah.
So it's like, you know, another way to take it is, like, kind of like, I want to be, like, you know, like, autonomous. I want to have my voice as well. Like, we deserve that as, like, you know, it's like, this whole community deserves so much more. You know, if you get a local artist to paint, you know, it's awesome, you know.
Sure.
We got so many blank walls. And that's the thing, like, some businesses do open the call to, like, you see someone graffiti, like, eventually be like, hey, man, I like what you're doing. How about we do something for you and for me? Yeah. That way we don't get tagged anymore, and, like, we can, like, incorporate what you're doing. Like, and that's where you go from graffiti to some knowing your local graffiti writer to knowing your local graffiti artist, and be like, let's bring a community together. I got you, you got me.
It's good, it's that community.
Let's come together.
Yeah, it's community.
And instead of separating each other, because it's so easy to, like, have the negative stigma of graffiti. Is like, you know, it's not really that bad. We have, if you guys were able to see, like, the underground, so many beautiful murals and talent.
Yeah, and it's an expression throughout history. You know what I mean? It's been that. And it tells the history as well. You know, the murals, tells the stories a lot. But the community and just coming together is always great, because, you know, we had conflict for so long. You know, I know, at least when I first moved out here to San Diego, Barrio Logan wasn't the prettiest of neighborhoods, you know, but it's evolved. Yeah. And even, like you said, you know, we had two artists come together to build something. You're just adding to the evolution of the neighborhood. And anywhere you may be, but we're talking about Barrio Logan because we are here, but it's always great because you see how beautiful it's grown to be and become, and to have that community come together, like I said, and continue to create upon the, you know, these streets here. And it's beautiful.
Well, also, like, I want to say thank you for being that bridge to, like, let me be part of what you're doing and, like, voice out my what I feel about it. Like taking your time. Because like the more bridges that we have, that makes it easier. Like we create like a better, like community, better buildings, better everything.
No, for sure. We continue to create, and that's where we're here. Creators, entrepreneurs, and artists. And it's great to be here again, having us in your space. It's beautiful what you do. Our subjective, and I know that you allow that space for that within what you do. I could sit here and look at this art, and like you said, hey, what does that make it feel? It's not about me, it's about you. And I think that's important, because those pieces will eventually call to you. I'm just here looking admiring. We'll call to you from time to time, and just like you said, that one person that the roundabout came by and was like, yo, this piece is still calling my name. I was like, well, go ahead. It's important to know that, to analyze that, because you get to be in this vulnerable place as well. From you yourself, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and create that art, to that person coming to you and be like, hey, this makes me feel some sort of way. And you're like, perfect. It's not what I meant. And maybe you say that in your head, but I'm glad that it does something for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but we appreciate you having us here once again. Anything else, Matt? Christina? You good? Fun times? No, but thank you for your time, for your energy, for your story. Once again, we normally do have lemonade. Not today, which is fine. Maybe I would need some water. No, but thank you for having us, and keep rocking, man. Keep doing your thing, and hopefully we do get to see you internationally. And whenever you get to, I don't know, maybe Germany, France, whatever space. I don't know if there's a certain place that you want to go to eventually.
Canada. I mean, hopefully, like in Sasso, maybe we will bring the lemonade over there to the Canadians, and we actually have a lemonade down there. Like, hell yeah.
Have some poutine and lemonade. Well, yeah, man. Is there anything else? I mean, do you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Definitely shout out to all the neighbors right here. It's like Barrio Logan. It's a beautiful place. If you want to check out like further in, every second Saturday there's like Barrio Art Crawl.
Yep.
You can follow like their Instagram. It's called Barrio Art Crawl.
What's your IG?
My IG is like _EYE GATO or EyeGato. My space is Studio IX San Diego. My partner in crime, it's This Girl Hugs Trees. Also check out like Walk the Block. Come down to Barrio Logan. There's so much beautiful things to see. Not just every second Saturday. Come like down, like every weekend. There's always something new and beautiful to see and check out.
For sure. Come down for the food, coffee. They got everything here. So,
yeah.
I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And now we'll catch you all on the next one.